Welcome. I'm Gayathri and I'm passionate about transformative coaching in the realm of life and leadership. My journey towards coaching started with an educational background in psychology and over 20 years of corporate leadership. Today, my commitment to help unlock limitless possibilities within each individual has culminated in the creation of my organization, Realize to Win. As a certified master coach, my philosophy centers around the power of the human mind and its boundless capacity for growth and achievement. My approach is rooted in the belief that with the right mindset, training, and guidance, there's truly no limits to what you can accomplish. My work is just not about reaching goals. It is truly about redefining the very boundaries of potential. Join me every week on my podcast, Catalyze Your Self, where we can dive into mindsets, experiences, and practical steps that will ignite your transformation towards limitless possibilities. I look forward to connecting with each and every one of you. Welcome back, everyone, to Catalyze Yourself, where we explore the pathways to your best self through authentic and transformative insights. I'm your host, Gayathri, and today we will dive deep into an aspect of life that is an absolute inevitable. Yet, so many of us find it often challenging. Change. Change is constantly happening within us and it surrounds us. Trying to avoid it does not stop it. Trying to deny it does not stop it. Change happens, invited or uninvited, and then it simply demands our attention. How we manage and respond to these changes can profoundly impact our lives. So, how do we navigate change with poise and resilience? In our session today, we will explore strategies to adopt change gracefully, maintain our composure under pressure, and transform challenges into opportunities for growth. In today's episode 15, we will get into how you can navigate your changes in grace. Before we go any further, as always, let's first take a moment to clearly understand what it is that we're working with. First, let's take a moment to truly understand what change is. Most of us know it as when things become different and the feelings of fear and discomfort that comes along with it. Yes, change is that and so much more. Change is a constant, a truth we all live with that is consistently testing our comfort zones, stretching our adaptability and our mindsets. Change comes in to ensure we grow. Change is a dynamic process that ensures everything is always moving, transforming, evolving. The nature of change is absolutely complex, and there is an element of predictability as well as an element of unpredictability to it. And it does not discriminate. It happens to everything and everyone. For example, if we think of our professional lives, change can manifest in job transitions, shifts in industry trends, or even the evolving nature of one's own role in a singular company. These change not only um, turn out to be logistical, they can redefine our daily routines, our professional identities, and our future aspirations. When we think of our personal lives in terms of just ourselves, change may come in as growth or shifts in our values, our behaviors, and understanding of others. It is about evolving beyond our current limitation and embracing the new opportunities for self discovery and self improvement. If we think of change in our personal lives in terms of others, family, romantic partners, social or community acquaintances, friends, change can come in as shifts in dynamics, evolving expectations, or even entering and exiting relationships. These changes challenge our emotional resilience and require a re-evaluation of our role and expectations with each of these relationships. So it is inevitable. Fighting it simply makes our journey harder and stressful. If it is inevitable, let us understand how we can navigate it effectively and gracefully so we can continue our growth towards success while being our best selves. Now, understanding change is one thing, but embracing it is a completely different ballgame. Often, change is resisted. Why is that? Well, it is a deeply rooted instinct in our psychological makeup. Human beings are creatures of habit. We crave stability and predictability because that makes us feel safe. So, when unexpected changes or any type of change that takes us from the current state to a different state occurs, it triggers a sense of uncertainty and vulnerability. Fact is, many of us facing unexpected transitions can lead us to a range of psychological effects. There is initial shock, there's denial, which is often followed by anxiety and distress. This resistance is not always just stubbornness. It can be a natural response that is aimed at protecting oneself when what is perceiving as threats, because change is taking you from comfort to a place of discomfort. Moreover, that fear of that unknown can be paralyzing if you don't manage it. Not knowing what lies ahead can lead to feelings of lack of control, which is uncomfortable for most people. This can result in procrastination, avoidance, or even regressions back to old, more familiar way of doing things, despite knowing that that might not be the most effective or beneficial approach. So, what does this tell us? Primarily, it is not about the change itself. It is what the change is creating inside of us and our response to it that truly impacts us and those around us the most. This makes it critical for our mental and physical health that we intentionally train our brain to respond to change in a way that reduces or eliminates as much of the stress as possible. And this is where grace comes in. Grace isn't just about being calm and collected. It is about maintaining dignity, understanding, and compassion in the face of change and upheaval. It is about how you lead yourself and others through the transitions with the spirit that not only survives but thrives. When we navigate the waves of changes, doing so with grace can profoundly impact how we emerge from those transitions. But what exactly does it mean to handle changes with grace? Let's unpack this concept and explore why it is so crucial, especially during turbulent times. To handle changes with grace means to approach life's inevitable shifts with composure, resilience, and dignity. It truly involves a poised acceptance of the new circumstances, coupled with a thoughtful response rather than a reactive one. This doesn't imply passively accept or be resigned to what's happening. Rather, it truly suggests strength that is both flexible and formidable. Grace in the face of change is about maintaining your integrity and values, no matter the external pressures. It is about managing your emotions and reactions in a way that aligns with your deepest self, ensuring that your actions continue to reflect your core beliefs and aspirations. So, now, why is maintaining dignity and calmness so important during turbulent times? I'm sure you can think of many, but let me share some that's actually coming into my mind. First of which is preservation of self respect. By responding to change gracefully, you maintain your self respect and demonstrate to yourself and to others that you're grounded and confident in your values. This self assurance is contagious and can inspire those around you to also handle stress and change more effectively. Another one that comes to mind is stress itself, reduction of stress. Graceful handling of change helps you mitigate the stress and anxiety that comes along with that uncertainty. When you remain calm, you're better able to assess the situation logically and make decisions that are not clouded by high emotions. Another one that comes to mind is decision making, improved decision making. Change often requires us to be quick thinking, and we may have to make very swift decisions. Maintaining dignity and a calm demeanor allows us to analyze the situations more clearly, and this helps us make informed choices that can lead to better outcomes in the very long run. Another one that comes to mind is fostering positive relationships. Change strains relationship. So, and it can be in personal life or work. So, when you navigate these changes with grace, you are so much more likely to preserve, and even strengthen these relationships, as others around you will feel respected and valued through your composed response. Embracing change with grace essentially asks us to accept that not everything is within our control. It's about focusing on what you can truly influence: our actions, our mindset, our responses. By doing so, we navigate change more effectively, but we also model for others a way of being that can transform potentially very chaotic situations into true opportunities for growth and learning for not only you, but for everybody impacted by it. So, what does embodying grace look like? When you act in grace, you demonstrate certain mindsets, emotions, and strategies that help you maintain your composure and resilience. Let me share some of these with you. In grace, you will show a few mindsets. First, growth mindset, because this helps you embrace challenges as opportunities for learning and growth. This mindset helps you view changes not as a threat, but as a chance to develop new skills and insights. Flexible or adaptable mindset, because this helps you open to new ways of thinking and doing. A flexible mindset allows you to adapt more easily to changes, minimizing resistance and discomfort. An optimistic mindset, because maintaining a positive outlook in the face of adversity can truly influence outcomes favorably. Optimism helps you in seeing the potential benefits of a change, and it keeps you away from focusing primarily on the negative aspects. Acceptance mindset, because recognizing and accepting what cannot be changed is vital. This does not mean giving up or just letting go and allow things happen to you. It is rather choosing to focus your energy on what you can truly influence and impact. And if you know me, you know this. And this would be a part of my list: mindful mindset. Because staying in the present moment without overemphasizing the past or the future helps. Mindfulness encourages a calm, clear approach to change, and it truly facilitates better decision making. Okay, now let's move to emotions. Let's take a look at the emotions that you would typically demonstrate or show in grace. Compassion. Compassion towards our own selves and others. Being compassionate can ease the stress of change and foster a very supportive environment where everyone feels valued and understood. Patience, because change often does not happen overnight. Patience allows you to take a thing step by step, reducing the urge to rush through the process or force the outcome prematurely. Courage. Courage, because facing the unknown requires bravery. Courage helps in overcoming fear and taking necessary actions that might totally be outside of your comfort zone. And calmness, because keeping calm in the midst of turmoil helps in maintaining clarity of thought. It truly helps prevent hasty decisions made in panic or in stress. So, those are some of the emotions. Now, let's take a look at some action oriented strategies that you could display in times of change with grace. One, being effective communication, because clearly expressing thoughts and feelings becomes so much more crucial, especially during times of changes. It ensures misunderstandings are minimized and everyone involved is ideally more on the same page. Another key strategy is prioritization because identifies what needs immediate attention and what can wait, helps you manage resources effectively, and it reduces that feeling of overwhelm when there's change all around. Seeking support if you need it, because you recognize that seeking out resources and support is a sign of strength. The goal is to navigate the change effectively in grace. So find and utilize all tools and resources that you need to accomplish this. Self care. It is a vital strategy for maintaining your capacity to handle stress. So, in times of change, and especially in times of um, drastic change, engaging in activities that rejuvenate your mental, physical, and emotional health is essential. And finally, regular reflection on experiences and feelings, because this is going to give you insights on how you can continue to manage change and where you might improve. You can do this in so many ways: journaling, speaking to a coach, a therapist, um, doing mindful activities, just simply sitting and reflecting, going into nature. If we work on integrating some or all of these mindsets, emotions, and strategies into our daily lives, we will see each of us embodying grace as we navigate these changes. I have personally experienced this with some of the changes I have navigated in life myself. And I have also learned the same by the grace demonstrated by some very important people who have walked some parts of my life with me. I would love to share couple of these stories with you. The first story I want to share with you is one where I was able to support a very dear friend of mine through a change that occurred in her life that was absolutely out of her control and very painful. Let us name her Lisa, and her story is truly not a story of endings, but of beginnings and profound growth because of how she navigated the change in her life. To give you a little bit of background, Lisa had been with her partner, let's name him James, for over 13 plus years. They shared a life filled with mutual interests, social circles, and dreams that she thought were for her future. And however, as time passed, James began to show restlessness and started seeking out paths that did not include Lisa. Despite her efforts to address potential issues, James decided to end the relationship, leaving Lisa to not only face a personal loss, but also a significant identity shift. The end of the relationship was a profound shock for Lisa. She found herself not only single, but also feeling the loss of a life and a future that she had envisioned for herself and James. It affected her self esteem, her living arrangements, her view of relationships. Lisa went through a period of mourning, feeling a mix of disbelief, sadness, anger. The background of Lisa's change that I just gave you is not unique. This happens, life happens, and people end relationships for many different reasons. What makes Lisa stand out for me is her grace of response to her change that came to her absolutely out of her control. Some of her choices that stood out for me were how she maintained dignity, where Lisa absolutely refused to lash out, place blame, or publicize their issues. What she chose instead was to manage conversations about the breakup with respect for both her and James. She took time to introspect, honestly self reflect, to unpack her feelings and the dynamics of this relationship with James and her past relationships. She reached out to me for support, and in our coaching time, she was absolutely leaned in and focused on moving forward, not staying in pain and regret of the past, not keeping and rehashing her unfulfilled dreams, more about what is she going to make out of what has happened. She reached out to her other friends and family for support. And gradually, in time, she started building a life independent of her past relationships. When I think of Lisa today, I see somebody who is so enriched by all of her experiences. She has grown so much more adventurous and she's so much more self assured. She pursued a career change in between all of this that aligns so much more with her passion for creativity, and she moved into arts. And the first word that comes to my mind when I think of Lisa was and will always be grace. The next story I want to share is about someone who gave me the opportunity to coach and support him through a major change that he was going through. Let us name him David. David was a seasoned corporate manager who faced a pivotal change in his career, absolutely unpredicted due to downsizing. To give you a little bit of background, David had spent over 15 years climbing the corporate ladder with a prominent tech company. He was loyal, he was well respected, and had built a reputation for his effective leadership and very much innovative thinking. However, when the company faced economic challenges and began downsizing, David's department was significantly affected, and he was eventually let go. And as you can imagine, this was a huge blow to his professional identity and his financial stability. This sudden loss of his job had a ripple effect on David's personal life. It strained his family finances, it led to increased stress at home, and it shook his self confidence. The stability he had known was replaced now with uncertainty about his future career path and concerns about maintaining his lifestyle and supporting his family. When David and I worked together on how he could navigate this challenge and transition this change in grace, David took some key actions. David took the time to assess his skills, his passions, and what the needs of the market were. He was determined to see this as an opportunity to realign his career with his long-term personal and professional goals. He openly discussed his situation with his family and friends, and this allowed him to gain emotional support and practical advice. And he attended networking events and workshops to expand his professional circle. David invested in himself by taking courses in digital marketing and business management. These were the areas he identified as essential for his new venture. And he had a clear plan. David launched a startup focused on providing innovative tech solutions for small businesses. So he turned his expertise into a new business opportunity. Today, David's life looks quite different from his corporate days. His entrepreneurial venture has grown. It's provided him not only with a stable income, but also a more fulfilling career that aligns more closely with what his passions are. And personally, his relationships with his family have deepened. They went to a traumatic time together and partnered and came together, and it really strengthened it. He became more involved with his community and now feels a greater sense of control and satisfaction in his work and life, and looks at it in a much more balanced way. Now, these two stories of graceful changes I have shared with you highlight the different aspects of grace: acceptance, resilience, and a thoughtful response. And this can profoundly impact both personal and professional lives. They remind us that while we may not always be in control of the changes we face, we can always control how we respond to them. I hope you felt inspired by the couple of stories that I shared. And I would like to invite you to think of your own experiences with change. How did you handle them? Did you feel like you managed them with grace? What could you have done differently? Reflecting on these questions can be incredibly enlightening, and I hope you will choose to do so. So, as we continue to explore how to navigate life's changes, we must remember that doing so with grace is just not beneficial for managing the present. It sets a foundation for us for future resilience and for future success. It is about building that legacy of strength, of dignity, and wisdom, and it truly endures beyond the current challenges that you're facing. As someone who coaches individuals in both life and leadership, I have seen firsthand how mastering these areas can transform challenges into stepping stones for success. If you're finding it hard to cope with change or need guidance to lead with more resilience and grace, I am here to help. Connect with me for personalized coaching, and we can explore these strategies in depth and tailor them to your unique situation. Together, we can forge a path through any change, ensuring you come out stronger on the other side. Please feel free to reach out to me through Instagram or LinkedIn. You will find my socials in the description box of any of these podcast channels that you're listening to me currently with. As we wrap up today's episode, please remember, navigating change with grace is not about dealing with what life just throws at you. It is about leading your life in a direction that aligns with your deepest values and aspirations. It is about leadership in its truest form, leading oneself. Thank you for tuning in to Catalyze Yourself. I'm your host, Gayathri, and I want to leave you with this reminder that every change is simply a pathway to growth. So keep moving forward, embrace every moment with grace, and until next time, keep catalyzing yourself to be your best self.